Hi everyone, my name is Debbie Jurblum. I'm here to talk about genealogical research for beginners, and for most of you this will be how to make your family tree. I've been a member of the Australian Jewish Genealogy Society, Victoria, for nearly 20 years. I spent 13 years on the committee and 9 of which I was a vice president. I'm now retired from the committee and I'm happy to share with you some of my experiences. I've included a link for the AJGS Beginner's Guide to Jewish Genealogy, and this you can have a look on the site that you're on, and it will have all the following information, all the details of the websites, everything you need. Although this talk would normally take a minimum of an hour to normally explain the basics, I'd like to give you the very short version to help you create your tree. Two main tasks in your genealogy is first finding the information about your family, and the second is to record it. So we'll start with finding the information. The best way to start your family tree is by word of mouth. Asking the elders, for example, your great-grandparents if some are still alive, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and extended cousins. You don't know all the family members. You may not know, I should say, all the family members that they know, and there may be people who are alive, such as distant cousins, who may provide further clues for other cousins that they know of that you may not know, which is something that's actually recently happened to me, and it's really amazing. The information to ask for is places and dates of births, marriages, and deaths. And also if they have any photos, as they might have some members of the family that you don't have photos of. This will give you a starting point for your research. By places, I also mean not just the countries, I mean the countries, the cities, the towns, the shtetls. So as much as you can go into the areas or even suburbs, that would really help you. If possible, see if they have documentation to back up their information. Memories are not always perfect, so just try that. Often there won't be documentation, and it just gives you a starting point. Keep with the original names. Another great resource is social media, such as Facebook, searching for family names, filtering them, and contacting people you suspect may be related. I found 2 cousins doing just that. One of which has been trying to find us for a long time, so she was quite blown away. The next great place to look for information are genealogical websites. The first that comes to mind is jewishgen.org, and that has millions and millions of records, including Holocaust records. But you must register, although it is a free website. They just like to know who's searching. You can upload your tree on this site, but you can't adjust it, so you can submit an updated version if you have changes. They have a family finder on their website, which is amazing, an amazing tool, meaning that another researcher who's looking for the same name in the same town can find you and contact you. I found a whole section to my husband's paternal tree, and without this resource I probably would never have found them and met them. So our surname is Jurblum or Jurblum, and their great-grandfather changed his name when he travelled to London to Bloom. So Janice's, who's the cousin, my husband's Martin's second cousin once removed, found me through this site, and Martin met her father Elliot, his second cousin, while we were in the United States. I was at a genealogical conference and Martin went off to visit them. There are millions of stories such as this one, so the family finder really comes in handy, and you never know what you'll find, such as I did. JewishGen covers Europe, Middle East, part of, and North America. The other amazing website to follow is JRI Poland. On this website you'll find birth, marriages and death records and books of residences, which is a brand new thing that I've just found, and more. Some of these records are town records, and Poland has a 100-year privacy law, so you'll only be able to search from 1920 backwards. Some records are from the archives of the Church of the Latter-day Saints, the LDS. They were allowed to microfilm records in Eastern Europe in the 1970s and probably have one of the best collections of European Jewish records anywhere. These are all being digitized and can be accessed through FamilySearch.org, but you may have more access to their records through the AJGS. Just check out their handout. While researching JRI Poland, I found my maternal grandmother's maiden name was Wecker. And when I was in Israel, I asked my grandmother's family about this, and they said that they had Wecker family. So I also asked at the same time about a family member called Menachem Schrager. As I couldn't connect him to my tree, there was no Schragers on my tree. So my great aunt kept saying Menachem Wecker, and I thought she got the name wrong. And finally she was frustrated with me speaking perfect English. I thought she couldn't hear. And she said that he changed his name from Wecker to Schrager to sound more Israeli. So promptly they picked up the phone, made a phone call to his daughter, and I've been in touch with her since. She's also, I speak with her and connect on Facebook, and her family tree is now bigger than mine. Other websites are Ancestry.com. They're easy to use. You can build your tree, but you may need to pay to go deeper into some research. Genie.com is a site also to build your family tree, but you might have to check if you have to pay if the tree gets large. I don't quite know. Then there is another, the National Australian Archives. The National Australian Archives is where you can search for immigration documents from your family's first arrival into Australia. These documents are full of information. I didn't know the town that my paternal grandfather was born in. I went to the Australian Archive website and I found his details, the ship arrival. I paid for the documentation to be opened online, and once the documents were open, they gave his town of birth amongst other relevant information. So since finding out this information, I've travelled to Poland 3 times. I went to the archives and I went to the Polish archives in his town and my grandmother's town, and came back with births and marriage certificates. That was an absolute bonus because I found my great-great-grandparents' names on those certificates. That was pretty cool. DNA is another wonderful resource. There are a few companies who do testing. If you're interested and you're in doing your DNA testing to find potential family, try looking into familytreedna.com, ancestry.com, myheritage.com, 23andme.com. I had mine done by Family Tree DNA and Ancestry, familytreedna.com and ancestry.com. I found people who I connected with on both sites. So sometimes people go to one or they go to another. So I wanted to check, and that was pretty cool. I have only 1,500 people on my tree, although you think that must be a lot. It's actually not. And I still have to add another 800 people who I've just found due to the DNA testing through emails, DNA testing, emails, Skype conversations, and more research with my new cousins who just happen to be Jewish genealogy experts. So my paternal grandfather, Isidore Wolfman, would not have been found as he had no birth, marriage or death certificate. But through the DNA-related experts, I found that JRI Poland had books of residences where this great-grandfather was noted as the son of David Wolfman. So that was the first time he was actually noted anywhere. So that was new information to me and fantastic. Now to record all the information you find by making a tree. If you are intending on doing a tree, you only have to work out if you want a direct ancestor tree, which means starting with yourself and only your immediate ancestors, your grandparent, your parents, grandparents, grandparents, etc. Or if you want to do an extended family tree, including all siblings and cousins. I have the extended tree joined with my husband's and include everyone, one big family. You may decide to commit your tree to paper, or you may want to publish it on one of the appropriate websites such as ancestry.com or genie.com, and there are others, so that others who are researching may want to connect with you. There are several different websites. That's just a couple. You'll find them on the handout. Or you may want to keep it on your own computer software. I use Family Tree Maker, but there are a few to choose from. This way you can send your trees privately to your family and your family researchers who come into contact with you. If you have your own software, you can send your tree in what's called a GEDCOM file, which is a basic tree that can be emailed to family. This is such a great resource for sharing information, and they can let you know about new information or if you've made a mistake, or you can do the same. Unfortunately, this is a short video only. However, hopefully I've given you enough to get by and start your genealogical journey. So I've discussed the main tasks in genealogy of finding info and recording it. You have a number of options like speaking with family, genealogical websites, archives, DNA testing. In addition, I've given you some more info and websites to build your tree. Not everyone will have the answer you need, and that's where the sleuthing starts. I've been doing our family tree research for many years, I'd say at least 25, and absolutely love it. I hope you do too. A great resource to start your family tree, or if you need help while you're doing your family tree, is the AJGS-Vic, which is the link, the attachment. So they are experts and a fabulous group of people who are always available to you with help for your research. The website details are on the handout. Good luck with your research. I hope it all goes well. And don't be frightened to give them a buzz. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to show you how to make a salad, which I love. It is not my creation, it is from a foodie that I follow on Instagram whose recipes I adore. They usually have everything but the kitchen sink, but if you're missing half the ingredients, just ad lib and it'll surely still be delicious. I've done a lot of these elements already in a here's what I've prepared earlier style, because my camera crew is a daddy with a Joey Maya in his pouch. So to get started, grab 2 tins of chickpeas, which I've pat dry really well. You want to make sure it's quite dry so that they crisp up really well in the oven. So 2 tins of chickpeas, coconut flakes, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil and cayenne pepper, and just toss it really well together. And you want to bake it for about 20 minutes in a 200-ish degree oven, but I've baked it for about 30 because you want to get them nice and crispy and crunchy. So it just depends on your oven and what quantity you're making. I'm also making a smaller, our 3-person family sized salad bowl, as opposed to a larger quantity, which you'd make when you're entertaining non-COVID. So then the kale, you want to tear up the pieces into smaller portions, and then massage it with lots of olive oil, salt and pepper, just to soften the pieces, otherwise you'll feel like you're chewing your cud. To that we're going to add broccoli, which I've just cut into small florets, and cabbage. I would usually use red cabbage, mainly because it looks prettier, but we're making do with white. The dressing, again, something I've prepared earlier. So that's 2 tablespoons of Tahina, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, teaspoon of soy sauce, juice and zest of 1 lemon, grated garlic and ginger, salt and pepper. I've actually omitted the garlic just because it doesn't really do well with me. Still delicious without it, but equally delicious with it. So I'm just gonna add the dressing and give it a bit of a quick toss. I may or may not make an absolute mess here doing so. Okay, Okay, that's good enough for now. I'm sure you'll do a better job at home. To that, we're going to add grapefruit. You could use 1 or 2 grapefruit. Again, I know a lot of people don't use grapefruit because it doesn't agree with certain medications. I've made the salad with oranges and it is, again, just as delicious. So use what works well for you. And we're also going to add coriander. Again, most people don't like coriander, but I love it. You could also use parsley. I feel like you could possibly use basil as well, just whatever kind of you prefer, I guess. And then I'm going to grab an avocado and just slice into cubes and throw it over. Use a whole avocado, but I'm just going to show you half for now. And then throw over all these beautifully crispy chickpeas and coconut. And easy as that. Beautiful salad for Shabbat.
The Parsha begins with an instruction from Aaron to light the menorah in the Mishkan. The menorah had 7 branches made out of a lump sum of solid gold, according to the fiery image that God had shown Moses. Next, we read about how Moses initiates the Levites to do their service in the Mishkan. Every man from the tribe of the Levi between the ages of 20 and 50 served in the Mishkan by helping the Kohanim do their work. Some background information on the next incident. What we're reading about here is the Jews' first year in the desert after they came out of Egypt. So as they neared the end of the year, they had to prepare for their Passover. The most important part of celebrating Passover was bringing an offering in the Mishkan, the Paschal sacrifice. So in this Parsha, God commands the Jews to prepare and bring the sacrifice. But some of the people are impure because they have come in contact with a dead body, and so they're unable to bring the sacrifice. Now, instead of thinking, oh, that's too bad, we'll have to wait until next year, these people are actually really upset. So they go to Moses and say, why should we miss out on doing the mitzvah? We also want to bring the Paschal sacrifice. Moses passes over their question to God, asking what they should do. And lo and behold, God tells them that they will get a second chance. Exactly a month after Passover will be Pesach Sheni, the second Passover, when everybody who wasn't able to bring the Paschal sacrifice in the right time has another opportunity to bring it. This is a very important story because it teaches us that it's never too late to do a good deed and that we will always have a second chance. Wishing you all a very good Shabbos and look forward to seeing you soon.
The yard sites for the upcoming week. Anna Bulkin for her husband, a past member of our shul and a dear friend to many, Alex Bulkin. Joseph Berger for his mother, Jack New for his father, Sharona Zaks for her grandmother, and Catalin Loeffler for her father, mother, and brother who perished in the Holocaust. We wish you all long life. The birthdays for the upcoming week, Melanie Aloni, Joseph Beckenstein, Diana Bracht, Nina Etzion, Kalia Lowe, and Leanne Mills, we wish you all a very happy birthday. Chabad Glen Eira is very excited to join a new program called Sinai Down Under, where we'll bring to you from some of the best orators and entertainers in the Jewish world today. Starting this Thursday night, 7:30, the first session, you will hear from Rabbi Yossi Jacobson, one of the most sought-out orators in the Jewish world today, an extremely engaging speaker. He will speak about civil rights and racial relations. We'll also have Nissan Black. He has done the set. He's an African-American who started off as a gangster, went through Christianity and Islam. He'll be rapping and telling his story. We'll also have local talent from our rabbis and rebbitzins of Melbourne on topical issues like how old is the universe and is Judaism sexist. So see you this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. on sinaiDownUnder.org.au/live. It will be followed by 3 consecutive Thursday nights with great speakers and entertainment. From the many items in the tabernacle, the portable sanctuary in the desert, there were 3 unique items. 2 of them are mentioned in this week's Parsha and 1 in Exodus. The 3 are the menorah, the 5-foot 7-branched golden candelabra that was kindled every evening, that cast its sacred glow on its surroundings. The second was the trumpets, the silver trumpets that Moses used to summon the people, and also that was blown on Jewish festivals as a sign of joy, triumph, and unity. And the third were the cheruvim, the cherubs, the image of 2 winged golden children that were crafted on top of the Ark in the Holy of Holies. The uniqueness lie in that those 3 had to be crafted from 1 piece of gold or silver. The craftsmen were not allowed to design individual pieces and weld them together like all the other items. These items had to be hammered out from 1 piece of metal. Now, some of these items, their design was very complex and intricate. So why did God not allow them to first craft the pieces and then assemble them together afterwards? One of the answers is these 3 items symbolize 3 arenas in life. The cheruvim, the cherubs, symbolize education. That's why they were in the image of children. The menorah symbolizes moral and spiritual leadership. That's why it casts its glow and lit up its surroundings. The trumpets symbolize joy and happiness. The Torah is intimating that in these 3 arenas in life, we must make sure that we are made of 1 piece. In the arena of education, symbolized by the cheruvim, the cherubs, representing our children, need to be crafted for 1 piece. Children do not respond well to conflicting messages, ambivalence, and hypocrisy. It leaves them with a sense of uncertainty and insecurity. Children need to be made from 1 piece. They need to be taught a holistic, harmonious, and unified message in life. In the arena of leadership, if you want to be a menorah, a source of light and inspiration and love to people around you, we must be made of 1 piece. People need to see in leaders a complete commitment to the cause, not halfway, sometimes committed, sometimes not committed. Sometimes we care, sometimes we don't care. We have to be in it all the way, all the time. Leaders ought to be also a pillar of conviction with a clear and unambiguous voice of moral clarity and leadership. And finally, in the arena of happiness, we all want to blow our joyous trumpets and celebrate life and feel a sense of contentment and satisfaction. So the Torah tells us that the secret to happiness is to find oneness in our life. Because one of the reasons why people are unhappy is because we don't know who we are. And we have conflicting priorities and goals that deprive us of finding true inner serenity. You know, we want to be a very devoted husband and father, but we also want to have fun. We want to be a very loyal and devoted mother, but we also want to have a full-time splendid career. We want to be a very committed Jew, but we also want to be an enlightened modern man. You know, we want to go to shul, but we also want to go to golf. You know, we want to be slim, but we also like cheesecake. We want to give tzedakah, charity, but we love our money. We love our job, but we're ambitious to do other things. To find the happiness in our lives, we need to find oneness. We need to become one piece. We need to understand what our core identity is and what our core priorities are. Now, inherent in the human psyche is to have conflict and things tempting us all the time. But if we anchor ourselves with core priorities and we tell us this is what we truly want, this is our core identity and priorities, then even if we are tempted and we stumble, we're always able to pick ourselves up and to come back to our true selves and follow our true priorities. And that is one of the ways to give us a sense of inner serenity and happiness. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbos.